I believe that the open vowels for men have two passaggios, a, and o, for example. I believe in thinking of V for voice. As we ascend, there are two passagios. We round it or narrow it, but yet we use still space at the same time in two areas of the voice, usually for the A vowel separated by a perfect fifth. A perfect fifth. Unlike what voice books will suggest. They'll suggest that passaggio in general is a perfect fourth. These two passaggios or two passaggi, a perfect fourth difference. Most of these books do not take into account the different vowel shades. Do you notice that Luciano Pavarotti, basically the king of technique in high notes, with excellent clarity, while in the top register, or cover, as he calls it, you notice that the E and the O vowel for Mr. Pavarotti, which can be objectively analyzed, is used 1/2 step beneath the A vowel. So A and O function a 1/2 step lower than A. In his later years, the F natural for A and O is a key place where he would use the cover for A and O, whereas the A vowel weighted to F sharp, a 1/2 step higher in the top passaggio. He is one of the only people that one can look toward for exacting technique. There's more than him, but he's one of the only, in my view. The first passaggio is a mini version. I'll use usually many times the same word over and over again. Mini version of the top passaggio. And in the initial building of a man's voice, my teacher, Andrew White, used to suggest something quite controversial, which I found in my teaching over the years to be very helpful, particularly for the building of the male passaggi. What he used to call either a back and down noble sound. That rhyme, back and down noble sound, is not a bad rhyme to memorize for the initial building of a young man's passaggio. I say the word either because one can think in a literal diagonal back and down direction. Depending on what pitch we're singing, this passaggio area, the lowest note of each V, this is where we could use that sensation initially. In fact, the entire voice can use that initial sensation, but it's most important to retain that as the years go by as an important part of a passaggio tone. The larynx must be able to retain comfortably low position. For example, over the years, over time, as it takes, generally speaking, about 2 years, 2 to 4 years, maybe a lot less, and maybe to the extreme of that amount of time, to help a singer build their voice. Makes sense, right? If it were easy, anybody could do it. Very few singers have proven to be able to do it at a near perfect place, a near perfect sound.